All right, here we are again in our world tour. One of my favorite parts of this whole course, and one of the most fun parts of Sizzle Kids that we do. So stick with me, and we're going to go all around the world and learn all kinds of awesome things about what our friends around the world eat for dinner in this module. So here, first, let's go back real quick and review where we've been. We're in Pillar One of Sizzle Kids, right? Pillar One is all about food, what real food is and what it isn't. Pillar two is all about nutrition, how that food works in your body. And pillar three is all about cooking. So here we are in pillar one, what food is and what food isn't. And we're going all over the world to see what staples are used in the meals that are created in all these different countries. So we started out in this course going over how to outsmart big food, fast food, and junk food. And the way we're doing that is by learning what real food is, where it comes from plants and animals, where it grows, why seasons are important, why weather is important, why geography is important, why different people in different parts of the world eat different things, all this kind of stuff. Where we get our food from, all the way from growing your own to the supermarket, everything about food that you could want, really starting from the beginning, because I do really want you to get this foundation of how amazing food is and how abundant it can be if we steward it properly and if we take care of the resources that we have on this planet, right? And if we can grow food to feed everyone, and if we can raise animals, and if we can do this sustainably, then we can feed everyone on the world. Food, all of this food was given to us by God to help us to live and to be nourished. And somewhere along the line, some of it's gotten messed up a little bit with processed foods, and these beautiful, delicious, amazing, healthy, nutritious staples have been turned into things that aren't even food anymore and that are very bad for our bodies. So I want you guys to know what's what so that you can fight and counter all this marketing that comes your way that tells you, certain processed foods are good for you when really whole foods are good for you. And so instead of saying all of those foods are bad for you, we're going to just let everybody learn what they learn about that. And what I want to teach you is what is good for you and what food was meant to do for you and where it really comes from. So that's what we're doing here. All right, we've gone over breakfasts in other countries, we've gone over lunches in other countries, and here we are at dinner time. So what we're going to do is we're going to start in the United States again. And this here is a typical United States dinner of steak and potatoes and veggies. Now, this kind of dinner is very well known in the United States, and it reflects kind of the culture in the United States when people would raise their own livestock for food, and they would grow their own vegetables and potatoes for food. Their starches like potatoes, and their vegetables like green beans, like you see here, and they would raise everything themselves. And this was a very simple, typical meal in the United States over the past couple hundreds of years, and it lasts till today. So you can go to restaurants and get some kind of variation of this meal almost anywhere in the United States. So that's what we have in the United States. Let's go straight down from there and let's go to Korea. So, Korea is a really special place to me and to my family because my husband used to work there a lot. For 17 years, he would fly back and forth to Korea over 73 times, I think. And we got to know the Korean people and their food very well. And there were so many different cultural experiences that my husband had with the Korean people over food and that I got to experience when I went to Korea. And one of the main ones there is called bulgogi. And all that means is basically marinated meats that are cooked right at your own table. So if you go to a restaurant, you'll be served a bowl of raw marinated strips of meat, and you put it over your a little fire, a little grill on your table, and you marinate it yourself. And it's a really popular traditional dinner that reflects the culture of the country. Uh, it'll be served with rice, which is a staple grain there. It'll be served with kimchi, which are pickled vegetables, and that reflects kind of their tradition of pickling and fermenting vegetables for preservation. And then what's interesting in Korea and what we experienced when we were there was they will serve dozens of little bowls with all kinds of different um, things in them, all kinds of different vegetables and kind of like side dishes. And it's called banchan. And it's a really fun way to eat. And it represents for the Koreans the importance of balance and variety in Korean culture and in Korean cuisine. So what I've shown you here is a bowl of bulgogi over rice, and then all the little bowls of kimchi, the pickled vegetables, and all the other little side dishes that you may get are called banchan. So we'll explore that more when we're doing some more of our international cooking. So remember, look at your flags because there's going to be a test later. All right. Let's go up to the middle here. And here we are in India. This is probably my second favorite type of food after Mexican food. My best friend in college, she was an Indian woman and she introduced me to Indian food for the very first time. I had never had it before. I come from Arizona and we just, I guess, didn't have a lot of Indian food there when I was growing up. And if there was, we didn't experience it very much. So when I got to college and met my beautiful Indian friend, and her mother would send her home with these containers filled with beautiful Indian food, amazing Indian food, and I would like eat it all. And it's probably pretty annoying for my friend, but it was amazing, and I've loved it ever since. So what you see right here is a dish called chicken tikka masala, and this are pieces of chicken that are marinated in yogurt and spices for a long time, for hours, and then grilled, and then they're mixed in with an orange sauce that's made of tomatoes and cream and all kinds of very exotic Indian spices. Um, Lots of really strong, amazing, different kinds of flavors in India. And that reflects, there's so many diverse cultures and regions in India. It's a huge country. The rice is a staple grain there. Lentils and vegetables are widely used because there's a large vegetarian population. One thing interesting in India is there's a very large vegetarian population for religious reasons, because in India, the cow is sacred in their religion, in the Hindu religion, so they don't eat it. And so there's a lot of amazing lentil dishes and vegetable dishes that are made with these amazing spiced sauces. And we're going to do a lot of Indian cooking in Sizzle Kids. So it's really fun to learn how to cook Indian. It's not the easiest thing to cook because there's lots of different ingredients that go into it and lots of times marinating and simmering, but it is worth it. Chicken tikka masala, my favorite Indian dish. That's what you're looking at here. And this would be a very typical dinner that you may find in India. It would usually be served like this over rice and then maybe with some flatbread called naan, Naan. Uh, they do a garlic naan as well. It's so good. It's all so good. Wonderful, amazing. So that's something you might get in India. Now let's go straight down from there to Italy. Now, Italian kids might have pasta for dinner. Here, I've shown you pasta that's slow cooked with a tomato sauce. This is a pasta bolognese, a tomato sauce with meat. It's slow cooked, it's simmered, and different bolognese pastas can have all kinds of different Italian spices in it, like um, basil and rosemary and garlic and all different things like this. You can have all different kinds of pastas. I have a whole lesson for you on all the different kinds of pastas with quizzes. Super fun. Here you are seeing penne. A rigatoni is a thicker tube pasta like this. You have fettuccine and spaghetti and all kinds of beautiful pastas. Fusilli and farfalla and pappardelle and all different kinds of pastas. So think about what you love, what kind of pastas you love. And think about your friends in Italy and that they're having pasta and pizza and these delicious, amazing things that we love here in the United States as well. And they have them as part of their traditional meals in Italy. Um, you might an Italian student or kid might have a piece of bread that they dip in olive oil. There's beautiful olive trees that they press for olive oil in Italy. It's a Mediterranean country, so they have a lot of fish and a lot of vegetables and a lot of meats along with their pastas and pizzas. So like France and like many other countries of the world, Italy is really well known for its food. So this might be a typical pasta bolognese might be a typical dinner that you get when you visit Italy. Now, the next country that we're going to look at here is Ethiopia. I think this is the most interesting way to eat dinner. They have this table, and they will put out all of these different little stews. And this bread that's there with it is called injera. Injera. I think that's how you say it. Injera. It's made from this native grain in Ethiopia, and it's called teff. And teff means little or lost. It means lost because it's so small. It's like the smallest grain on the planet. It measures less than 1 millimeter wide. It's a cereal grain, and it's very small. The word teff means lost because it's so easy to get lost. And it's a staple. It's a staple grain there. And so they use this grain to make this kind of sour, spongy, flat bread called injera. And it's just very traditional Ethiopian cuisine. And then around it, you'll have something that they call wats. And wats are all these little side dishes, kind of like what we saw in Korea with the banchan. The wats from Ethiopia are all kinds of little side dishes. That could be made of meat or beans or corn or all different kinds of things, all kinds of different spices. And how you eat in Ethiopia, such an interesting part of their culture, is you would tear. There's no utensils. You would tear off a piece of the injera, and then you would scoop up some of the wat, some of the little stews, and some of the little side dishes around it, and eat it that way. So it's really communal. It's really friendly and really beautiful. And this is what a table at in an Ethiopian restaurant or an Ethiopian home might look like. So really cool, really interesting, very different from the United States culture, and something that everybody should learn about. Look at the flag here of Ethiopia. You got the green, the yellow, the red, the blue with the star. Remember these flags because there will be a test. All right, last but not least, we're going down here to Brazil again. This is churrasco. We've gone over that in a couple other lessons. South America has an abundance of beef, of cows, and they eat a lot of beef. And this is called churrasco, which is basically grilled meats on skewers and barbecued. Um, they have a lot of different agricultural products as well. Rice and beans are staple foods. You might see those. You would likely see those in almost every meal. I had a friend who went and lived in Brazil. Her husband is Brazilian, and they went and lived in Brazil for 6 months. And she said they had rice and beans with almost every meal. Um, so, anyways, these are some of the dinners that you will find all over the world. In the United States. In Korea, you've got your bulgogi. In India, your chicken tikka masala. In Italy, your pasta bolognese. In Ethiopia, your injera with your wats and your lentils and all your different stews. And in Brazil, your churrasco. So, next time you're sitting down to dinner or next time you're at a restaurant, think of your friends around the world and think about what they're eating for dinner. All right, we'll see you next. We're going to go over some snacks, what the kids are eating for snacks in other countries. All right, we'll see you there.